Yeah, there it is. There it is, right there.
And by the way, for people, sometimes today when I'm putting something in the corner of the screen and I don't get to say it because you're on a roll, you'll be hearing the whoosh sound. For people who are unfamiliar with the show and are new, that means look in the corner of the screen because someone's fucking there.
Okay, go down. Go down.
Okay. There's a library right
Put, type in Tree of Life at the top. Asher Bonaparte Tree of Life mural. You'll find it. Tree of...
All right.
There you go, right there. Right there. Okay.
This one right here?
Click that.
All right, I'll stick that in the corner.
Can you make it bigger? Because I want to talk about it with you really quick.
Yeah. Let's make this, blow this fucker up. Let me zoom in.
Okay.
There you go.
I want you to take a look at this for a second. This is describing everything that I'm talking about. That's why I know it seems bizarre, the things that I'm saying, but I want people to understand this represents me studying both tablets and murals and all of this for well over 10 years.
Is that an eagle at the top?
Yes.
Son of a bitch. All right, go ahead.
So what happened is what you're seeing here. See the wings on the two outer people?
Yes.
Now look at the two people in the middle that don't have wings. You see that?
Yes.
Now look at the hats they're wearing on the two people with the wings, with horns on their helmets. Now the people in the middle don't have horns. You see that? Try to look carefully if you can.
Yes.
Okay. The thing.
I'm gonna blow this up for a second on the screen so if people want to pause and look. But okay, go ahead.
I'm gonna make a statement here that's very bold. This is the most important mural that's ever been created in human history.
Aggressive.
Period.
Period. You put a period on the end.
It tells us everything.
Okay.
I've broken this down a bunch of times. Your listeners haven't heard that maybe, so I'm going to break it down again.
Let's do it.
Remember in the tablets it says kingship is lowered, and it literally is created, right? And everything I just said. In this depiction, and I want to break it down, the two beings on the other end are the Anuna. That's why they have wings, and that's why the horns on their helmets have multiple horns that represent status. They are not like we are. They're not kings. They're the beings that we think of as the Anuna, our creators.
So the Anuna, though, I'm just thinking symbolism as we know it in bullshit modern culture.
Yeah.
Wings good, horns bad. They have both.
Horns are not really bad. That was something that was inverted later. Horns represented status. That's why bulls were used all throughout Egypt. The bull represented status as power. So, and certain symbols throughout history would have very, very strong connotations and meanings behind them. The two most important symbols for power, like strength, were two things. It was the horns of a bull itself in Egypt, and a lion. And the lion in Assyria was famous, and you can see depictions of that. They represented strength and power. And so they would depict them in symbols. And the eagle always represented war and empire building. It was like a different mindset. Now, in this depiction, you're seeing our two Anuna on either side passing rulership, kingship, to rule over us, to two different individuals. Oh. One of them is a king, and one of them is a priest.
Which one's the king and which one's the priest?
I just need to zoom in really quick. Hold on a second. Okay. This image right here, the individual on the right of the tree is holding what's called the rod of rulership in his hand.
Okay.
And that rod of rulership means he's a king. And then the other individual across from him has symbols that basically represent spirit, like religion, and seeking that aspect of it. It's you learn that one's a priest and one's a king.
Got it.
And what it means is that now notice those two beings with the wings. They're passing this. You see that? What they're passing is the symbol of the pine cone, and in their hand they have the handbag. Remember Pillar 43 at Göbekli Tepe? It's got the same handbag symbol below it. This is what I'm breaking down to mean. Oh, the shit. Anuna, they know all. They know everything in the universe. They are more powerful than we can ever understand. They seem to somehow be related to creation.
Do they look... I mean, because I'm looking at this and I'm just basing it off like some other murals I look at. Like, to me, comparing it to other murals, they look like humans.
Okay. Because, you see the king and the priest in the middle?
Yeah.
They emanated them. So the reason they look like that all throughout the Middle East, with the long beard and that's braided, was because that was how they physically decided to represent themselves.
On murals or physically decided period?
Physically, they can become physical, yes. So they have the ability to be physical if they want to.
Okay.
So they're passing the pine cone behind the head, pineal gland. They're passing the knowledge to the king and the priest for how to rule over humanity. Like literally passing the laws and rules like the Code of Hammurabi, everything.
Now, is some of what you're saying right now broken down by people who have broken it down?
No, because
reading,
I think
or is this all you?
I think that my depictions of the handbag and pine cone are a little bit different for me, but I think many have echoed the pine cone as what it is. And what the pine cone represents is knowledge, because it's passing the seeds of knowledge. Now if you look at a pine cone, it already has the sacred geometry woven into it. The sacred geometry of the golden ratio. The way that it's designed within the pine cone has its own sacred geometry woven in.
All right, golden ratio, back up for a minute.
The golden ratio represents the ratio between creation of like everything in the universe. So if you look at a shell versus like a human eye versus a flower, they all have this golden ratio design, right? You've heard of that.
Yes.
It's called the golden ratio.
Yes.
It represents this, and I'm not an expert on this. I just happen to know enough to talk about it a little bit, but it relates to the idea that there is a blueprint to the entire universe where everything is designed based on these patterns and these cycles and rhythms and all these things. And so they chose a pine cone because not only is it based on sacred geometry, which is their language of the universe. Geometry is the language of the universe, by the way. But it was about passing the seeds of knowledge. Like the idea that if you plant a seed, that the seed can grow into a tree, into something incredible. And so they would show passing knowledge as that to these individuals of everything. They literally would be teaching them everything to rule, but in a way where they were supposed to be like powerful in terms of information. Now the handbag represents them having the totality of all knowledge. So it's like they're taking, and these aren't real, these are symbols. They're taking these pine cones, which is a symbol, out of this bag. But they're not real. Like neither of them are actually real things.
How old again are we saying this mural
The
is?
Ashurbanipal mural of the Tree of Life was found in the same place as that great library of all the tablets.
Yes.
Because
how old do we think
3,500 years or so ago.
So it's far removed from when this would have happened.
Yeah. Yes. Now, here's the reason.
Because in fairness, let me just
please
point this out as the layman here in the room, the only one. But when we look at the Bible, right, it has a lot of great teachings in it. The Quran has a lot of great teachings in it. There's things in the modern world we obviously can disagree with. Take the good, leave some of the stuff that's not there. But just cynically speaking, from a truth perspective, it's a story that, stretches back, whatever it is, 6,000 years or something. And it was written throughout, the post-BC era, the AD era, and it was passed down over hundreds of years to form into what it was, which means, as we've already laid out a million times today, the whisper down the lane kind of thing. Stories turn into more legends that turn into whatever.
Yeah.
So now we're talking about something where you've put a billion with a B.
No, not this isn't a billion years old.
No, I know.
Yeah.
But you're saying the history of something like this could stretch back to a billion with a B.
Not human civilization.
Not human civilization, but the people who allegedly handed off to human civilization. So either way, it's somewhere way back from 3,500 years.
These Anuna on either side with the wings seem to be related to Earth history at least a billion years ago.
Thank you for watching the video, guys. Please hit that subscribe button and check out this clip's full podcast episode by clicking here or in the description below.